What's going on, and welcome back everyone to YGOP. And today I wanted to share what I've been grinding with on Master Duel to get up to Platinum Tier 1. Recorded this a little bit earlier today. I was at Tier 2 at the time of recording, but wanted to make sure this got out. Quick shout out to our new sub, Giacomo. Thank you so much for joining and hope you like the channel and the content. And if you haven't had a chance, check out the new series on the channel, YGOPD, your Yu-Gi-Oh! Professional Development. Episode 1, the side deck is now live. Link is in the description. Let's go ahead and hop in the deck profile. So I was using a variant of Tenyi Paleo. This is a bit more pure, just Paleo Frog or Rise to Full Height Paleo, however you want to say it. Got the deck profile running through here on screen for you. And it's a little bit different than the past profile, but if you are interested in a bit more of an in-depth deal, feel free to check out the other profile and analysis of the deck on the channel as well. Links in the description will be there for that. But just a few different things here, nothing too crazy, basically putting a bunch of Paleos on the board, protect them with Rise to Full Height, and then your Zeus wiping the board next turn, following up with Toad to get the advantage you need. A few different little neat techs in the extra deck like Herald of Pure Light to recycle any card from the extra deck since you're working with one Toad and one Zeus, as well as things like Sky Calvary and Underworld Goddess to really kind of push things forward. So I want to go ahead and hop into a few replays just to showcase what the deck can do. This first replay here is going to be against Drytron. Have a couple wins and a loss just to showcase different strengths, different weaknesses of the deck. But as you can see from the very beginning here, we are off to a strong start by essentially putting Paleos in the grave, getting that Rise to Full Height in the grave, and then following it up from there with a bunch of Paleos on board while our opponent combos waiting for different times to interrupt. Definitely a terrible thing to see Ben 10 back at 3. Absolutely hate it, but what can you do, right? Master Duel's list is just such a weird amalgamation. But as you can see here, we'll go ahead and get our Paleos spammed on the board and try to burn through our opponent's first turn, and then we'll go ahead and try to pick apart their board from there. And without that said, I will stop talking and just kind of let the replay speak for itself. That wraps it up, and we'll move on to our second replay here, going up against, I believe, PK Eldritch. This really showcases the deck's ability to outgrind almost any other deck as long as you know what you're doing. You'll see a couple slight misplays here and there on when things should be chained or targeted or things like that. Nothing too crazy, but really just showcases the advantage this deck has going into, with the new ban list, a more trap-heavy format in general, even in the TCG, just to be able to chain your Paleos off and keep things on the field. That infinite recursion from the graveyard definitely puts it ahead against most decks in the current meta. So we're just going to go ahead and watch our opponent combo off here to build a crazy big board, and we're going to just see how this deck really picks it apart one piece at a time. So I will stop talking and let you see exactly how we do that here. We're getting to the end here, wrapping things up. I'm not sure why we haven't seen a Zeus from our opponent. There were a few pieces of interaction they could have done, but just didn't. But from here, when we wipe the board with Zeus, it's pretty much game over, just because their deck has 5 targets left in extra deck, and none of them are really playable with what resources they have left. So they're really just left to try to recycle Golden Lord, and that's all they have. So when they see pretty much the Zeus resolve, get the extra traps out on board, they're going to just try to bring stuff out. They're going to see us rise to keep our stuff alive and then concede. Moving on, we have our final replay against Salamangreat, which just really showcases no matter how good you play and how well you are with the deck, there are just some times where you cannot do anything, giving your opponent just top decks the most unbelievable cards about 3, 4, 5 turns in a row. You'll see this through cards like Monster Reborn, Salamangreat Circle, Ash Blossom, and Will of the Salamangreat, pretty much all back to back when he's completely out of resources, and it just really is just insane to kind of steamroll cards that have that looming advantage effect. But you'll get to see different interactions here that might be a little bit different. Cards like Vishuda coming into play to bait out negates, and then moving into the Frog Engine to make Zeus and at least make that initial cleanup happen there. So without that said, I will go ahead and let the replay finish out here. And after fighting through multiple access code and insane draws throughout the entire game, we pretty much run out of gas when they top deck the Ash to deal with our nest, and that just kind of wraps it up from there. But that is the end of the replay, and that is the end of the video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all learned something new and just had the chance to see some new, cool, cheap, and free-to-play options in Master Duel. Thanks again so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Later.